Before diving into this incredible story, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell. Every story here has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. A waitress secretly feeds hungry twins, but the billionaire at the next table makes an unexpected decision. In the peaceful little town of Harrison, nestled between gently curving green hills, time seemed to pass more slowly. The streets lined with century-old trees, the wooden houses with colorful shutters, and the flowery gardens created an atmosphere of tranquility and mutual support. Yet, behind this apparent tranquility, life was not always easy for all the inhabitants. In the heart of this city, the Cafe Maple and Company occupied a very special place. It was more than just a place where people came to get a hot coffee or a light meal. It was a refuge for many, a place where customers often stopped to exchange smiles, discuss the day's events, or simply forget their worries for a break. The cafe, with its light-colored wood walls and large windows bathing the room in natural light, exuded a warm ambience. The scent of freshly ground coffee, mingled with that of freshly baked pastries, wafted through the air, inviting relaxation. An old-fashioned radio played light jazz music in the background, while the sounds of cups of coffee and conversation blended in with the gentle melody. It was in this setting that he worked Olivia Bennett, a 25-year-old woman with a gaze that was both gentle and determined. For several years, she had been one of the regulars' favorite waitresses, not only for her efficiency, but especially for her natural kindness. She knew almost all the customers by their first name and always knew how to put them at ease. But behind her bright smile and gentle voice, Olivia carried a heavy burden. She wasn't just a conscientious employee. She was also the legal guardian of her two nephews, Logan and Carter, 7-year-old twins. These two little boys were the center of his life. Ever since their mother, Rebecca, Olivia's sister, had tragically died in a car accident a year earlier, Olivia had made it her mission to give them as normal a life as possible. That morning, the Coffee Maple and Company was more crowded than usual. The lightwood tables were almost all occupied, and a slight bustle hung in the air. Raised voices, laughter, the clinking of cups, and hurried footsteps mingled in a familiar cacophony. Olivia, in her immaculate apron, glided from table to table with remarkable efficiency, taking orders, setting down plates, all the while tossing a smile here, a sweet word there. Yet, in this warm hubbub, a dark corner of the cafe caught his eye. There, at a small, set-back table, almost hidden by an old bookcase filled with second-hand books, sat Logan and Carter, his nephews. They were silent, motionless, but their faces betrayed their fatigue. Their cheeks sunken, their eyes a little dull, they stared at the customers around them, watching the colorful and abundant plates pass before their eyes with a suppressed but painful desire. Their stomachs rumbled faintly, a sound only those who have known hunger can recognize. Olivia felt her heart sink. Even though she was doing miracles with what little she had, some days were harder than others. Today, she hadn't had time to make the twins' breakfast before coming into work, and the food at home was almost empty. With silent speed, she slipped into the kitchen, avoiding glances and conversations. From behind the counter, she grabbed a few eggs, a little flour, and some maple syrup. With her practiced movements, she started the pan, whisked the eggs, quickly made some pancake batter, and took out some fresh apples, which she sliced thinly. As she prepared these two plates, Olivia felt the heaviness of the weight she was carrying, but also the strength that drove her to never give up. These small moments, these small gestures, were what gave them a little hope, a little warmth in the midst of adversity. She quietly returned to the twins' table, carefully carrying the plates. Silently, she placed the golden pancakes, topped with syrup, the fluffy scrambled eggs, and the crisp apples in front of them. "Eat quickly, before it gets cold," she breathed, gently stroking Logan's head, feeling the fine strands of hair beneath her fingers. The boy's eyes lit up instantly. Without a word, they began to eat, almost greedily, as if trying to make up for all the meals they'd missed. Their gratitude was palpable, their gaze filled with a fragile but sincere hope. Olivia stood there for a moment, watching them, feeling a surge of emotion rising within her. Despite the difficulties, she was there for them. And for them, she would face anything. At the next table, an elegant man sat alone, motionless, observing with discreet attention the scene unfolding before him. dressed in a perfectly tailored dark gray suit, with a sober tie and a steel watch that caught the soft morning light. He exuded an aura of calm authority. It was James Caldwell, a discreet billionaire and founder of Caldwell Innovations, a leading technology company. Despite his enormous fortune, James was known for his involvement in numerous philanthropic projects, although he preferred to stay out of the spotlight. His strong-featured face often wore a distant, almost reserved expression, but his piercing blue eyes betrayed a deep sensitivity. For several minutes, he had been following Olivia with his gaze, noticing the tenderness with which she cared for the twins, the furtive gestures, and the concerned look she cast upon them. This simple act of silent kindness could not escape him. He knew the signs of struggle and sacrifice, having himself grown up in a modest environment before building his empire. Without rushing, James put down his knife and fork and stood up with calm grace. He walked over to the register, discreetly paid his bill, and then quietly approached Olivia. "Hello, Miss Bennett," he said in a calm but warm voice, his eyes meeting hers with rare honesty. "I'm James Caldwell." Olivia, surprised, felt her cheeks heat up, a mixture of embarrassment and disbelief. She looked down for a moment, clenching her slightly sweaty hands. I'm just doing my job," she whispered, her voice trembling. "And I'm doing what I can for them." James gave him a soft, almost fatherly smile. "What you do goes far beyond just a job. Secretly feeding starving children is an act of courage and compassion. It's admirable." A light silence fell, charged with this unexpected recognition. Then, in a more assured tone, James continued, "Let me invite you and your nephews to dinner tonight at one of my restaurants in town. It will be an evening to give you a moment of respite. And, if you accept, I would also like to offer you a job within my team. A position with a comfortable salary, so that you can provide a more stable future for Logan and Carter." Olivia's eyes suddenly filled with tears, which she fought back. Her throat tightened, and she felt a wave of emotion wash over her. It's incredible. Thank you. Really," she stammered, her voice thick with gratitude. James placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "This is just the beginning, Olivia. You are not alone." At that moment, a new light seemed to dawn in the room, a promise of hope born in the simplicity of a gesture. That evening, as soon as they arrived at the restaurant, the Caldwell located in the heart of downtown, Olivia, Logan, and Carter were enveloped in a refined and soothing atmosphere. The place was a haven of soft light, with walls adorned with modern paintings and impeccably set tables covered in crisp white linen. Elegant chandeliers cast a warm glow that invited relaxation. The staff greeted them with genuine smiles and unfailing courtesy, guiding them to a specially prepared table adorned with fresh flowers and gleaming cutlery. Olivia felt her heart clench with emotion, a wave of disbelief mixed with hope washing over her. For the first time in months, she could put aside the fatigue and anxiety, even if only for a moment, and simply enjoy the company of her nephews in a dignified and peaceful setting. The boys, fascinated by the elegance of the place, whispered among themselves, their eyes shining with wonder. They tasted refined dishes they had never imagined they could savor, under the protective gaze of Olivia, who found herself smiling lightly, almost freely. That evening marked the beginning of a new era for them. Thanks to James Caldwell's generosity and practical support, Olivia was able, in the months that followed, to offer the boys much more than a roof over their heads. A stable home with a small garden where they could run and laugh, a school where their talents were encouraged, and regular medical care to ensure their good health. Olivia also found personal balance, gradually integrating into the position James had given her within his company. There, she discovered an environment where her work was valued, where her skills were recognized, and where she could finally look forward to a future without constant fear of tomorrow. But what this story told beyond material goods was the power of a deep human bond, a solidarity born in the simplicity of a gesture, a kind look. James, despite his status and wealth, had not seen in Olivia a waitress, but a courageous woman, a mother of heart ready to do anything for her children. Olivia, for her part, had never imagined that a man like him could care about her beyond a simple gesture of charity. Together, they built a bridge between two worlds, gradually erasing the invisible barriers between social classes. This story became an ode to humanity, to sincere generosity, and to the strength of bonds that transcend economic differences. Proof that sometimes the greatest treasures are born from the unexpected encounter between open hearts and souls willing to help one another.